I remember the way Amelia's fingers brushed my collar on our wedding night, like I was some precious thing to her. Not a burden, not a placeholder, but someone she wanted. Back then, her eyes didn't calculate, they radiated. We were equals, not competitors. Her ambition sparked like fireflies around her, but it never burned me. That changed slowly, then all at once. When we met, I was freelancing, copywriting, web design, whatever paid rent. She liked that about me. Said I had freedom, called me her wild poet. She worked in finance, spreadsheets, conference calls, heels clicking like war drums across marble lobbies. She came home exhausted, eyes fierce, voice velvet. Our chemistry? Nuclear. We kissed like strangers sneaking around. Every room in our apartment held echoes of us. Her lipstick never dried on just her mouth. I was addicted to her scent, almond oil and something electric. I never needed anyone else. Then came the promotions. The first bump changed nothing. She celebrated in sweatpants, wine in one hand, my thigh in the other. She called her boss Rick the Prick, rolled her eyes when she mimicked his voice. I laughed, proud of her. She made more money than me? Fine. I was never insecure. I wrote, created, dreamed. Her stability gave me breathing room. But by her third promotion, things weren't the same. She started traveling. Conferences. Leadership retreats. I waited, cooked, wrote, deleted, stared at doorways. She came home later. Stopped texting back during the day. Her scent changed, less almond, more corporate perfume. Her kisses turned robotic. Still present, but hollow. Like she knew protocol demanded affection but her soul no longer did. She bought new clothes. Expensive ones. Shift dresses, suede boots, blazers like armor. She never asked my opinion. I complimented her anyway. She smiled politely, but her eyes flicked toward her phone. One night, she mentioned how some women at the top had to shed their dead weight. I laughed, not knowing she was quoting someone else. She didn't laugh with me. She began bringing up exes in conversation. Casual, indifferent, always with a smirk. I chalked it up to stress. People deflect under pressure, right? One Saturday morning, I watched her on the balcony, phone in hand, whispering. Her voice dipped, giggled. Not her usual register. I stood silently behind the glass door, mug in hand. She didn't notice. When she walked back in, I asked who she was talking to. She blinked, smiled too fast. Stacy from HR. She's hilarious. She never laughed like that with me anymore. Sex became ritualistic. Not passionless, but rehearsed. Like she was performing affection, not feeling it. I tried not to let it show, but I felt it. That emptiness you feel when someone touches your body without bothering to reach your heart. I knew. I just didn't want to know. One night, while she showered, her phone buzzed. I shouldn't have looked. But silence screams when it comes from someone who used to tell you everything. The message preview read, "Tell your loser husband I said thanks for keeping you warm." Smirking face. I froze. Every cell in my body went cold. I didn't open it. Didn't need to. That one line cracked a decade of trust. I stood there, phone trembling in my hand. Her laughter echoed faintly from the bathroom. Steam curled under the door. I placed the phone back on the counter. When she came out, I kissed her forehead. Smiled. Asked if she wanted tea. She said yes. That night, I didn't sleep. The next day, she announced her big promotion. She was now vice president of corporate strategy. There was going to be a party. Formal. At her company's rooftop lounge. She wanted me there. Said it with a tone that didn't ask, didn't beg, it declared. Like an accessory needed for the picture-perfect narrative. Loyal husband. Beautiful wife. Executive dreams fulfilled. I agreed. I bought a new suit. Navy blue, Italian wool, understated but sharp. Got my hair cut. Polished my shoes until I saw my own confused face in them. The night before the party, she stayed late at rehearsals. I imagined what she was really doing. Who she was doing it with. I imagined the smirk from the message. The cheap thrill of secrecy. But I stayed quiet. The morning of the party, she didn't even kiss me goodbye. Hours later, her assistant emailed me the event details. 7 p.m. Penthouse level. Black tie optional. Champagne included. Victory guaranteed. I arrived exactly at 7. Not early. Not late. Perfect timing, like a ghost showing up to haunt the living. Inside, it was marble and glass. Views of the city skyline sprawled behind floor-to-ceiling windows. People buzzed, laughed, clinked glasses. Amelia stood in the center, goddess in scarlet, her dress hugging every inch of her like worship. She didn't see me at first. I stood by the bar, watching. She laughed too loudly. Touched arms too often. She wasn't drunk. She was radiant, lit up from within. I wondered who had lit the fire. A man leaned close to her. Tall. Gray suit. Slick hair. Her eyes flicked to mine briefly, then back to him. She didn't even flinch. The microphone screeched. Everyone gathered. She stepped up, glass in hand. "Thank you everyone," she began. "This promotion isn't just about me. It's about the people who helped me rise. Who stayed by my side even when I outgrew them." She paused. My heart stalled. Like my husband, who, bless his heart, writes blogs and edits memes or whatever it is he does. He may not bring in 6 figures, but he's always been a presence. Laughter. Not cruel. Not loud. But enough. She looked right at me when she said it. "Let's all raise a glass," she finished. "To the future. And to knowing when to leave the past behind." Applause thundered. I didn't clap. I set my drink down, straightened my jacket, walked out through the glass doors into the night air. My chest didn't heave. My face didn't break. I just walked. The city glowed beneath me. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. "You deserve better. I have proof. Meet me tomorrow." I'm done being quiet. I stared at the screen. The message wasn't signed, but the address attached was familiar. It was her boss's wife. I didn't sleep that night either. The city lights bled through our blinds, casting crooked shadows across the bed where Amelia lay soundly, one arm sprawled across my side like a claim staked long ago and now forgotten. Her breathing was even, unbothered, somewhere between dreams and delusion. I lay there, motionless, watching the fan spin above us, slicing through the silence like a blade through skin. That message played over and over in my head. "You deserve better. I have proof. Meet me tomorrow." I'm done being quiet. I responded only with, "Where?" The reply came instantly. "Stonebridge Cafe. Noon. Discreet booth by the back. Come alone." The cafe was almost empty when I arrived. Rain slicked the windows, tracing lines like tears on glass. I spotted her the moment I walked in. Clara. She was elegance coiled in quiet rage. Hair pulled back tight, no makeup, just raw, clean truth. She didn't stand. Just motioned for me to sit. "I'm sorry it came to this," she said, her voice steady. "But I can't stay silent anymore. I think you're owed more than sarcasm and shadows." I just nodded. She slid a flash drive across the table, then her phone. "Watch this," she said. The video loaded quickly. Blurry hotel room footage. Amelia. Her boss, Julian. The man from the party. Her laughter filled the tiny cafe speaker, unrecognizable in its freedom. "What if he finds out?" Julian murmured. "He won't. He's too soft." "I say jump, he asks how high," she said. "And if he suspects something? Then I'll call him a loser again and let him wallow in it." My throat closed. I looked away. Clara's voice was firm. "They've been at it for a year. Started during a conference in Montreal." I pieced it together after Julian came home smelling like her perfume. Dumb bastard didn't even try to cover it. I clenched my fists under the table. "Why now?" I asked. She leaned forward. "Because I deserve better too. And because I heard what she said about you at that party. My husband's an asshole, but your wife? She's poison." I couldn't argue. She passed me a folder. Inside, Printed emails, time-stamped calendars, hotel receipts, photos, date, times. Lies wrapped in logistics. She used her company card to book at least 3 of these rooms, Clara added. That alone could get her fired. Especially if she claimed they were for business purposes. My mind spun. Rage didn't flood me. Not yet. What came first was clarity. I want to help, she said. But only if you want this to end. I looked her in the eye. I do. Back at home, Amelia was already up. She wore a silk robe, sipping espresso like royalty. She didn't ask where I'd been. Just gave me a sideways glance. You disappeared last night, she said, voice neutral. You seemed busy, I replied, walking past her. She chuckled. You're sulking. Don't be so sensitive. It was a joke. People laughed. Yeah. People did laugh, I said, opening my laptop. She kissed my cheek out of habit and walked away. I stared at the flash drive for 10 minutes before plugging it in. Evidence loaded in front of me like a courtroom exhibit. My marriage unraveled in pixels. I spent the next week planning. I wasn't loud. I wasn't angry. I didn't confront her. That would have given her control. I wanted precision, not revenge. Justice, not chaos. Clara and I began working together like operatives. She supplied the dirt. I curated the presentation. A board meeting was scheduled for Friday, the quarterly strategy session. Executives, spouses, stakeholders. Everyone important would be there. Everyone who mattered to Amelia's career. Clara helped me get on the guest list under the guise of a partner appreciation initiative. She even offered to help stage the reveal. Let her stand on the tallest podium, she said, then kick it out from under her. Poetic. I rehearsed the timing, formatted the slides, labeled the files. My hands trembled each time I opened one of those videos, not from pain anymore, from anticipation. This wasn't revenge. This was resurrection. The day arrived. Amelia wore emerald, her power color. She didn't suspect anything. I drove us to the building, her fingers brushing mine occasionally, out of ritual more than warmth. You look good, she said. You too, I replied. She smiled, touched her hair. I'm glad you're here. Really? Liar. The boardroom was a glass fortress, high above the city, filled with power suits, perfume, and polished grins. Amelia mingled with ease, laughing, nodding, charming. Julian hovered near her like a shadow pretending not to be. Clara stood across the room, sipping water, unreadable. When the meeting began, the host introduced a new segment. Behind every leader, partner tributes. Everyone clapped. I stood. Good morning, I said calmly. I'm Amelia's husband. You may remember me from last week's party, where I was publicly labeled a loser. Nervous chuckles. But today I want to share something meaningful. Something truthful. I tapped the clicker. The screen behind me flickered to life. First slide, loyalty, integrity, accountability. Second slide, a photo of Amelia and Julian holding hands outside a hotel. Date stamp. Logo clearly visible. Gasp. Julian stiffened. Amelia blinked twice, then smiled nervously. I think it's important to know the kind of leadership you're promoting, I continued. Next slide, the video. The audio rolled. Her voice. Her words. I say jump, he asks how high. The room froze. Clara stepped forward. I can confirm these receipts were submitted under company expenses. Murmurs exploded. Phones came out. HR reps whispered. Julian stood, stammering. This is a setup. Amelia turned white. I looked at her. You looked me in the eyes and called me a loser in front of your entire world, I said. Now they get to see what you are behind closed doors. Security approached Julian. He backed away, muttering. An executive addressed the room. We're suspending both individuals pending investigation. This is serious. Amelia's mouth opened, but no words came. I walked past her. Didn't stop. Didn't look back. She called after me softly. Wait. I didn't. Outside, Clara joined me at the curb. The wind tugged at her coat. She lit a cigarette with shaking fingers. Did it feel good? She asked. I shrugged. It felt final. We didn't hug. Didn't need to. Two people burned by the same fire don't need to share warmth. They just nod and walk away, smoke trailing behind them like ghosts. Back home, Amelia's things were gone within the week. She sent one text. I never thought you'd do that to me. I deleted it. The silence that followed? It wasn't lonely. It was peace. I once believed that pain came loud, that betrayal screamed. But it doesn't. It seeps. It whispers in places you thought were safe. I'd lived for years beside a woman who measured my worth in silence and sarcasm. Only now, in her absence, could I hear myself think again. She moved out quietly. No farewell speech. No final apology. Just a cold, efficient exit, like a business transaction gone stale. She packed her designer shoes, left behind the wedding album, and ghosted the life we built like it was a draft never meant to be saved. The day after the boardroom detonation, I woke up late, not to her alarms or espresso machine hissing, but to stillness. Sunlight crept in lazily. No meetings. No fake smiles. No lies. I made eggs for the first time in months. Ate in silence. The taste was dull, but mine. I opened my inbox. Messages poured in, anonymous ones, coworkers of hers, old acquaintances, some I didn't recognize. Saw what you did. Bold move. Respect. Not all heroes wear capes. She got what was coming. Can I buy you a drink? Petty? Maybe. But I wasn't ashamed. The truth deserved daylight. And people, they craved justice. Clara and I kept in touch, exchanging fragments of aftermath. Julian had resigned. A family emergency, the press release said. Meanwhile, HR quietly circulated an internal memo about personal relationships impacting executive decisions. Legal was sniffing through receipts. Amelia? She'd been suspended with pay. A PR move. An appeasement. But the damage was done. Her name buzzed in backroom whispers, Slack threads, and nervous jokes. The Golden Girl turned cautionary tale. I should have felt triumphant. But vengeance, even well served, always tastes a bit burnt. One afternoon, Clara texted me a picture. Amelia, alone in a dim cafe, hair disheveled, laptop open, eyes puffy. Caption: She's trying to build something. Maybe looking for another ladder. I didn't respond. I didn't care. What haunted me wasn't her. It was the pieces she left behind in me. Memories don't disappear with truth. They fight for space in your mind. They beg for reinterpretation. I started sorting through them like an investigator re-examining old footage. I remembered our honeymoon. The way she danced barefoot in the kitchen, wine in hand, music blasting. She spun into me laughing. I believed that laugh. I remembered the way she used to trace circles on my arm while falling asleep. But then, I remembered the emails. The hotel room keycard she lost and blamed on housekeeping. The night she said, "You're lucky I stay." Truth is a scalpel. Sharp. Sterile. Unforgiving. I picked it up again. Because even though I'd exposed her affair, even though her career was crashing, I wasn't finished. Not yet. You see, her public downfall was satisfying, but survival wasn't enough. I wanted to rebuild. Better. Bigger. Without her shadow on my neck. That's when I started writing again. Really writing. Not blogs. Not product copy or punchy captions. Stories. The kind I used to dream of publishing. About people like me. About betrayal, lust, ego, love, all tangled together like wires sparking in the dark. I wrote about a man who loved too deeply. About a woman who climbed too far. About ambition dressed as affection. I poured everything into it. Rage, sorrow, regret, the ache of being dismissed by someone you built a home with. I wrote until my fingers cramped, until dawn broke. I sent the manuscript to a small indie publisher Clara recommended, a friend of a friend. Didn't expect a reply. 2 weeks later, I got one. They wanted it. The email said, raw, sharp, Addictive. We want to publish immediately. Name your terms. For the first time in years, I smiled without bitterness behind it. Meanwhile, Amelia tried to recover. I heard from mutual friends that she was attempting a return. She'd hired a PR fixer, created a new LinkedIn, rebranded herself as a strategic leadership consultant. Nothing more. Her followers dwindled. Corporate gossip sites picked up the story. One ran a headline: "From boardroom queen to scandal's pawn, Amelia Trent's fall from grace." Her comments were filled with knives. Some defended her. Most didn't. And Julian? His wife, Clara, divorced him. Quietly but with teeth. She got the house, half the assets, sole custody of their dog, Baxter, who apparently hated him anyway. Clara sent me one last message after finalizing everything. "Free feels weird. But good. You deserve it too." I told her she was right. Weeks passed. My book gained traction. Early reviews called it devastatingly honest. Bookstores stocked it under literary fiction, though to me it felt like autobiography wearing a paper-thin mask. People messaged me daily. "This character, he's me. This was my marriage. Thank you for bleeding on the page." I never responded, but I read them all. Then, one day she showed up. Amelia. At my doorstep. I hadn't seen her since the boardroom. She looked smaller. Not physically, but in presence. The kind of small people become when they lose their spotlight. She wore jeans. A hoodie. No makeup. The mask was gone. I didn't invite her in. She stood in the doorway, hands tucked into her sleeves, eyes flicking between the cracks in the floorboards. "I read it," she said. "I didn't ask which part." We both knew. She took a breath. "You told the truth." I stayed silent. "I never thought you'd have it in you," she continued. "You were always too kind." She meant soft. She meant naive. "You thought wrong," I said. She looked up, and for a split second I saw the woman I married. Not the executive. Not the manipulator. Just the girl with the messy hair, who once loved poetry and kissed me like I was air. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I didn't say I forgave her. I didn't need to. That wasn't what this moment was for. This wasn't closure. It was confirmation that I'd survived her." After she left, I sat on the couch for a long time. No music. No distractions. Just me. Alone. But not broken. Free. And finally full. Months passed. The seasons changed without her. Spring melted into summer. The apartment smelled different now, cleaner, simpler. No trace of her perfume, no lingering scent of her hairspray, no high heels in the hallway like landmines waiting to be stepped on. I kept the bed, changed the sheets, kept the couch, threw out the pillows she bought. Funny how even cotton can carry betrayal. The book did well. Too well, almost. What started as a passion project, a form of therapy, found its way into headlines. Best-selling debut destroys marriage myth. Anonymous autobiography or literary fiction. Either way, it hurts so good. I never confirmed the story was real. I didn't have to. People read it like gospel. One critic called it a confession disguised as prose. She wasn't wrong. I started getting speaking offers, podcasts, interviews, panel invites. One even wanted to turn it into a film. I declined most of them, but one request caught my eye, a live reading at a bookstore not far from where I grew up. I said yes. The night of the event, the room was packed. Candlelight flickered against the exposed brick walls, a quiet buzz of anticipation humming beneath every breath. I stepped up to the mic, heart steady. I read from the chapter where the narrator, me, finally realizes the love he received was a transaction. That every moment he mistook for affection was, in fact, negotiation. A bartered breath. When I finished, the room was quiet. Then applause. Warm. Slow. Real. Someone asked if the woman in the story ever apologized. I just said, she came back. But that doesn't mean she was sorry. They nodded. They understood. Afterward, a young man came up to me. Wide eyes. Maybe 21. Your story saved me, he said. I was in it too deep. Couldn't see the truth. But your words cracked something open. I shook his hand. Held it longer than needed. He cried a little. That moment? That was the reward. Not the sales. Not the exposure. The humanity of it. But life, of course, doesn't stay still. One morning, I got a call. Blocked number. I let it go to voicemail. Then another. And another. Curiosity one. I answered. Her voice, small, shook through the speaker. They fired me. I didn't say anything. I'm being sued. The company claims I misused funds. HR documented everything. Even filed fraud charges. Still, I waited. I know you had help. Clara told me. I guess. I deserve it. Silence stretched. Why are you calling? I finally asked. She breathed. I don't know. I guess to tell you I'm not okay. That I miss you. I closed my eyes. I'm not the man you married anymore, I said. I know, she replied. He was easier to lie to. Then she hung up. I never heard from her again. Clara sent me an update via email. Subject line. Closure? Body. Julian's new job fell through. His reputation followed him like a bad smell. Divorce finalized. House is mine. I'm okay. Therapy helps. So does boxing. Thanks for standing up. You didn't just free yourself. You freed me too. I wrote back. Funny how survival becomes revolution. Glad you're well. Stay sharp. We didn't need more than that. Some friendships are forged in fire. Others are built on ashes. Ours was both. Time kept moving. I moved into a new place. Not far from the old one, but it felt like a different planet. Bigger windows. Less clutter. I bought furniture I actually liked. Learned to cook without smoke alarms protesting. One morning, while sipping coffee, I looked at the framed first edition of my book on the shelf. The title stared back at me like a scar I'd learned to live with. It didn't hurt anymore. Just reminded me where not to go again. Then came the letter. Not an email. A real one. Stamped. Handwritten. From her. Amelia. I almost threw it away. Curiosity again. The letter was short. I won't ask for forgiveness. I wouldn't believe I deserve it even if you gave it. But I read your book. Every word. You wrote me better than I ever was. I hope you find someone who sees your value without needing to break it first. You were never a loser. I was just too blind to see your worth until I'd already destroyed it. I folded it up, burned it in the sink. Ashes don't talk. A year to the day after the promotion party, I stood on a new rooftop. A different city. A different skyline. I was hosting a book launch. My second novel, one more fiction than truth, but still laced with the scars of lived experience. A woman approached me. Not Amelia. Someone new. Journalist. Funny. Witty. Smart eyes. She'd read my book. Asked the right questions. We talked for hours. There was no fire between us. Not yet. But there was curiosity. And this time I knew that was enough. Because lust fades. Affairs burn out. Power collapses. But curiosity? It grows. Gently. Quietly. With respect. So here's the truth I never got to say at that party. I wasn't a loser. I was a man married to a liar. And when liars fall, they scream. But I walk away. And I write the ending.